Here we go.
Welcome back to another episode of the Merge Meal. Blake, Logan, and Brandon, welcome back. Thank you guys for joining again.
Glad to be back.
What's going on?
Well, drop your buffs. It's Merge week, Merge episode. Where are you at? What do you think?
Go ahead, Logan.
It was a really, really fun episode all throughout. Just from the advantage, how they had to run around beach, find that, meeting everybody, kind of getting back in the group together. I'm definitely excited to kind of dive in and talk more about it.
Yeah, this is my favorite kind of time in a Survivor season, transitioning from pre-merge to post-merge. I think this is really when the game gets going and you start to see people really come into their own, and you get the best moments in a Survivor season. So let's go.
Agreed. Yeah, for me, everything pre-merge is just for fun and to see who's really cut out for the game of Survivor, it feels like, and the game has finally started. As far as how everybody aligned, I mean, is it what you guys were thinking? I know for me, when I watched, and it was like, okay, Joe and Eva and Shaheen and a couple of other of those people, I felt like they were going to get together with Kyle and David. And were you guys surprised at any of them getting together, or how any of that just transpired?
No, I don't think so. I think obviously there's the tribe that was it Siva 6 that was strong, wanted to stay strong. Obviously there's a few cracks there, but for the kind of two groups that formed, it seemed to make sense, and it didn't really surprise me. I mean, you kind of started to see those relationships and bonds build before this, obviously, and then it was expanded, but everybody that seemed to be working together all kind of just grouped together anyways. If that makes sense.
Yeah, I think everything went the way I thought it would. I'm actually kind of excited for the quote-unquote physical threats to get together and see what kind of stuff they can do, because in New Era Survivor, they're not really ones that you see go deep in the game. And it kind of felt like there's a little bit of a revolution going on there, so I'm excited for that.
Yeah. Yeah, same for me. I mean, everything felt like it aligned the way I thought it would, which is what, for me, made the challenge that much more exciting. At first I was like, ooh, I really want the orange team to win. And then you look over to the purple team and you're like, oh, man, I really want them to win. And then they get all muddy and you can't tell who's who. And I'm like, oh, yes, they're winning. I'm like, no, wait, I want the other team. And it was just so much fun all the way around. I really, really enjoyed it. And the fact that, you didn't know the entire time. Orange made a comeback, and I don't know. It was, I just loved it. It was a lot of fun.
That mud was insane. It was so thick.
And once again, they don't wash it off.
Yep.
But that's gotta be something that they're just doing now. I don't know. But sticking with that, Brandon, I'm curious to dive into that a little more as far as the kind of the physical threats going far. And it also seems like those physical threats are wanting to play a very loyal and honest game. And I know we've talked about that all the time, but I mean, like you said, is that possible in Survivor? And I'm curious your thoughts on that.
Yeah, so I think one thing I am enjoying about this season, there's a lot of things, but there seems to be kind of an old school approach happening with some of the players. Joe, David, Shaheen, Eva, they're all kind of wanting to stick together and keep a core to the end. That's not typically something that you see. There, you have to lie, you have to backstab, you have to blindside, you have to cross your fingers when you're saying something to somebody. I guess if you can get a majority to play honest and loyal, then yes. But I think individually, no. I think it's impossible. And I don't know if it's really ever been done. I think people think they have, but I think even if it's as simple as making somebody think that you're with them, but you're not, like, you lied, whether you realize it or not. So I don't think you can.
Yeah, and like you said, Brandon, I think the biggest thing there was the if. Like, if you're all playing together as, like you said, this group, if they can all stay loyal and do that, but that's a big if. And just thinking back to some of the, like, what you would consider some of the most loyal, like, players, one that kind of stands out is Colby from back at the beginning, and like tried to play somewhat of a honest game up until it kind of towards the end it got a little iffy, but it seemed like it's hard to play a true loyal game the entire time, like you said.
Yeah, I completely agree. I don't think it's possible to be loyal to everyone and play a loyal game that way, but I think you're spot on, Brandon. If you can get a large enough group that you're loyal to, then you can say, man, I just didn't have an alliance with you. I was loyal to my alliance. And everybody for years has seemed like they've had really one person that they're truly loyal to. So if this opens up and you've got 4 or 5 of them that are truly loyal all the way to the end, like, that may make it appear more like, hey, I played a loyal game, even though I had to backstab and lie to do it, because I'm loyal to this big core. So,
yeah, no, it's tough. I guess what's your definition of loyal? And it's probably different for everybody because it's circumstantial, but I'm looking at it, and if David, Shaheen, Joe, and Eva are all still in the game down the road, like, surely one of them is going to go. Joe's got to go. Like, yeah, it's just natural.
Well, and not to jump too far ahead, but that kind of brings up tonight's vote. And that group all voted differently. And I don't know, I mean, there's a chance that they split it on purpose, but I also don't know. Like, everybody seemed to have a bit of a different idea on where the votes were going. So I'll be curious to see next week if everything aligns back up. But.
Yeah. That stuck out to me as well. I'm hoping that they elaborate on that next week, because they were not on the same page. So I'd love a little bit of backstory there, to kind of see where that goes.
I do know there was a lot going on, and obviously the 2 that were kind of up for elimination, obviously everybody, but the 2 that were being voted for there, I feel like there was a lot that going on. Obviously the main alliance, and you have different little subsets there that had influence on it, but it seemed pretty even for the most part, and just kind of chaos for, the whole day. So it was hard to, okay, what are we actually doing?
Well, it doesn't necessarily concern me that that's going to cause fractures, because either way, they got out somebody that they wanted out. It wasn't somebody from their alliance. And so I think they'll all be able to sit down and be like, whew, we got to get better on getting on the same page, if it wasn't on purpose.
For sure.
So I think it's still early enough, and the vote went in a decent enough direction that I think they'll be fine with it. I mean, speaking of Charity, since she got voted out, was anybody else paying attention when anytime Eva would talk, Charity just seemed annoyed? And I don't know if that was like a, oh my gosh, you're using autism as a crutch or like as a way to get further in the game, annoyed, or if it was just, I don't know, RBF.
I feel like she even had that kind of look or that in previous episodes too, where like there's glimpses where it seemed like she had that RBF or I don't know.
So we don't obviously know Charity, but I don't think she's made any friends out there. And I think, like, her and Eva had a rift because Charity was obviously getting hurt for her, but you saw from Eva's point of view, like, Charity's fake. She's not real. So,
Yeah.
I just think she's maybe kind of a mean girl.
I could see that.
Yeah, and I could be totally wrong. I could be making this up, but I thought that there was a tweet out there this past week that was saying something about that. But I could be wrong. Where Charity was basically talking a little bit of crap on the episode last week. But
So, something when I watch a player, and I watch how they interact with other players. Is it respectful? Is it condescending? You know, that kind of is what it is. But when I watch people in confessionals, I kind of look at that differently, and I'm like, are you kind of hamming it up for the camera here, or are you being a jerk and this is just who you are? Like, if you're being one way towards a player, like directly towards players, like sure, whatever, you're playing the game. But when you're talking to me and you're saying like bad things about other players, it rubs me the wrong way. Like last week, Charity talking about David and just some things she said this week. She just kind of like, I don't really know how to explain it, but I feel like the negativity and all that in the confessionals, like, is that who you really are?
yeah.
And it feels like she was even trying to justify, this isn't who I really am. In one of the confessionals, I'm playing Survivor. This isn't who I really am. And
When she even
you're
said
working
that,
really hard to
yeah.
convince yourself and us that that's not who you really are. I don't think she made a lot of friends on the beach.
Yeah.
Definitely didn't seem like it. It really seemed like the closest person that she really was to Mitch. And outside of that, you didn't really see that she was talking to a ton of other people or had much there.
Yeah.
Which, poor Mitch. And he has been on the wrong side of every single vote he's been a part of. Mm-hmm. And he just looks so dang frustrated after that. Like,
Yeah.
and if he would have known, he could have used a block of vote. I don't know that he would have for that, but, you know, because I had forgotten that he had the block of vote. Do you think Say continues to scoot by? Or, I mean, is it going to be that it's between Say and somebody else, and that's how they're going to disguise the vote for so long? I don't know. I'm really curious, and part of me thinks that Say was playing a post-merge game pre-merge, and that she's going to play better in the merge. But so far, it seems like everybody's kind of figured her out, and they want to keep her close enough to use, but we're also willing to vote you out. And I don't know. I don't know that she makes it much further.
I think it'd be hard for them to just say, hey, we're going to use you as the other like vote as between you and somebody else. I don't think she would go for that, and she wouldn't be be okay with that. Obviously, at the end of the day, it's not up to her, but I think she's coming towards the end of her time. I don't know how much longer she makes it. I could see it being another week or two, but you can tell people are definitely, like you said, weary of her, but I don't know. I think her post merge game could be really, really good if she makes it long enough. But I'm worried that it's coming to an end.
I don't know. In recent seasons, there's been, it's person A, person B. Person A gets voted out, and we just assume that person B gets voted out next week. But that hasn't been happening. They've been like, it's Charity and Say, and then next week, Say's just not on anybody's radar. And you're like, well, what happened there? But I think in Say's instance, I think she's done next week. If not next week, the week after. She's got as many enemies as Charity has. She's not like, I don't want to say burned bridges, but like she had a great relationship with Cedric that got squashed largely due to Cedric, kind of, but Cedric also kept her in the game. So, that's weird. And Mary, I was surprised by the reunion between Say and Mary tonight, that Say was excited about it and Mary wasn't as warm.
Yeah. That kind of surprised me because it seemed like they both left it off okay at their last leaving. And for Mary to come back and almost like that never happened, it was kind of weird.
What were you saying right before that, Brandon?
I don't know.
Dang it. Rewind.
Was it about Cedric?
Yes. I know we kind of jumped all over the place within the episode, but the way that he kind of did damage control with Say after last week when he came back and was like, whoa, 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 because Say flew off the handle at him and was like, nope, I'll talk to you and I'll talk to you, but Cedric, I am not talking to you at all. And he was like, hold on a second, you don't know what actually happened, and then saved face with everybody. And it was like, now a lot of other things went on that could have come back to bite him, but I was like, dang, he did some good damage control there. I was pretty impressed.
He did. And weird angle for Say to take, like freaking out at him, like, you're still here and you weren't going to be until Bianca revealed this to me. Like, for the second time now, I've saved you. Yeah. So let's shut up and just be grateful that you get another night here.
Yeah.
And I think to stay on Cedric, man, just for the challenge, I know, like you said, we're kind of all over the place, but his performance really hit him hard.
It did. I was, so Cedric was great. Like I love the moment in between him and Star, but Star was like a standout player today.
I loved Star in this
episode. Gosh, she was so much fun.
The first week I thought, I'm not going to like this person, to last week or maybe 2 weeks ago where she gave the immunity idol and had that good moment with Eva, to this week I'm like, okay, I see you, and I love the player that I'm seeing.
Isn't that so annoying, though? Sorry. Isn't that we missed out on Star for 4 episodes?
No.
But they did the same thing to Genevieve, too. Like, I remember last year, we're like, episode 4, we're like, oh, Genevieve's playing. Like, that's
who is that?
So I'm like,
so yes, I'm with you, but also that's part of what I love is seeing the character development. And I don't know how much of it is how they edit it and leave out on purpose or include on purpose.
Yeah.
Or how much of it is just like, she just didn't do much until now. But I love when you go from a player that you're like, I just don't know either who you are or I don't think I'm going to like you, to like, they're one of my favorites, and vice versa. The ones that you thought you were going to like, and now you're like, oh my gosh, I can't wait for you to get voted out. like that to me is part of the fun of figuring out like, okay, who do I want to win? Who am I rooting for?
Yeah.
And I love that character development there. But yes, Star, she's awesome. I loved it.
Great episode. Tribal first, like tribal confessional there was hilarious.
Yeets the pin across the voting booth. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, I
Dancing her way up there, and then everybody seemed like they heard it.
Eva's was great as well. Why does everything shaped like garlic? What is going on here?
I was trying to see what she was talking about. I didn't see any garlic,
I don't know.
but
That was good.
That was funny. I'd really be curious. I know you may have said it before, Brandon, but I'd be curious how long a tribal like that is. Like, how long are they sitting there talking with 13 people? Like,
Yeah.
it's got to be over an hour, right?
you would think.
So, according to Survivor Wiki, Tribal Council can last from 45 minutes to 90 minutes.
Whoa.
Dang.
And I think the final tribal is like ridiculously long.
Gotcha.
But obviously they edited it down to 15 minutes for us.
Oh, we didn't talk about Kyle and him winning immunity.
Yucky, dirty Kyle. Yep.
I was surprised that everybody got their polls as high as they did. I thought that challenge was going to be over a while before that. But
So I feel like that challenge is usually a smaller ball, like almost like a cue ball, right?
well, and those, it didn't have the lip on
Yeah,
it.
the lip was huge.
But I think the pole was smaller, so you had like But I don't know. And
Yeah.
yeah.
I think there's been a couple different like versions of that game or like holding it and all.
What'd you guys think of the immunity necklace?
I actually really liked it. Some of them have been like very, I don't know, and like have the skull or bones or whatever, and this seemed like it was a lot of beads, very ornate, and I don't know, it just seemed classy. I wish they would give us better up close shots of it, rather than it just being like the symbol of immunity. But I think it was cool.
I actually had the same thought of like classy and just something that's like perfect and like obviously you want it, but I don't know.
Yeah, I like this
Simple.
one as well. Like in comparison to last year's was a bat, I think,
Yeah.
and this one's just has a little medallion and the beads. Just different. You don't typically see a lot of color in them, I don't think. So I liked it.
Yeah. Same. Can you guys drink a gallon of milk in a day?
No.
So I love milk. I do. I'll drink milk at 2 p.m. on a Tuesday. I don't care.
What?
That is
But-
awful.
I was like, a gallon of milk is crazy. A gallon of chocolate milk is even crazier. I love chocolate milk, but
How much
No.
money are they spending on milk a
I
month?
thought that too. You're going through a gallon a day. What's a gallon? Like $5 at this point?
Yeah.
And
So
Eva had a great question. How do you have the fridge space for this kind of hobby?
Joe said, yeah, the store's right around the corner.
Man.
That's a lot of milk. I don't
And-
know the last time I've sat down and had
hold on a second.
And it was whole
Say-
milk.
Say milk. Both of you say milk.
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 You both said milk a second ago.
Milk.
Say it again.
Milk.
Blake,
Milk.
you're saying milk.
No.
Milk.
Oh my gosh. Hey, leave a comment below. Are they saying milk or milk?
Milk.
I'm not hearing a difference.
This is ridiculous.
Uh,
Milk.
the merge meal podcast is officially over.
I have more questions.
Okay.
Okay, so I want to go back to the physical alliance, David and Joe, Ava, all them. There was a confessional that stuck out to me where David said something along the lines of, "It's about time the people on the podium actually deserve to be there." And I'm curious, I took it as him taking a shot at previous winners, that they didn't deserve to be there. I know, Blake, we talked pre-show. You didn't take it that way, so I would love to talk this out with you and kind of see where your thoughts are.
So I was trying to look back at previous seasons because I took it a couple different ways. One, that they didn't necessarily feel like, or that he didn't feel like that the winners before were playing like a loyal and honest game. And also they tended to be the more strategic social gameplay as opposed to the physical side. And not that they didn't earn it or deserve it, but that somebody who's playing physical now deserves it. And I want somebody that's playing that type of a game to win. But also, if he's wanting to stick to kind of that core group where they're taking 3 people to the end who they've been aligned with the whole time, that they all deserve to be there, as opposed to dragging Sue along or having that goat that you just take to the end that is not going to get any votes. And still, somebody may not get any votes, but they all 3 deserve to be in the final 3 is kind of how I took it more. So I could see how you would take it that way, but you were definitely wrong.
Wow.
I'm just kidding.
I actually like your points, Blake, and kind of beforehand, and still, I was in the sense of taking shots at some of the past winners, and I think it could be even a sense of a mix between both of what you are saying, but I didn't see it your way, but I definitely I get that now that you bring it up.
Whatever. You make valid points, and that's a rarity on this show. So,
Whoa! Shots fired.
And then I had, moving on from that, my next question is, what is a worse time to be voted out? Is it first or is it mergatory?
Mergatory. Oh.
I'm really torn on this one because the old saying "first is the worst," like first out, like first loser, like that's the worst. Like you don't want to be the first loser. That's ugh. But to be so close to the merge and to have you drop your buff, you think you're there, and to not get it would be just as brutal, I think. Again, and I guess in that sense, you're kind of the first out on the merge, but I don't know. I'm really torn there.
I would much rather be voted out at the merge. I mean, at first I'm like, that's a tough question, but if I'm playing Survivor, now it may be a little more painful and like, dang, I could have done this different. I could have done this different. Where when you're first, it's almost like luck of the draw. If you get on like one bad look with somebody, it's like, hey, he doesn't like me. So I think I would overanalyze my gameplay way more, and it would be way more painful, but I would much rather get voted out at the merge.
Yeah.
No, I agree. I think obviously like if you're voted out first, you spent 3 days on the beach and you didn't really do much. But being so close, coming this short of the jury, because you see a lot of people that are like, I want to win, obviously, but man, if I can just make the jury, and you just come up short of the jury, and I know Charity came up short, and I've seen, like, I know they made the merge, I've seen it where even the next vote doesn't make the jury, so I don't know, but man, that would stink, because you would be just sitting at Ponderosa like, I don't know what, just everything spinning through your head of what could I have done differently. And but no, I just think it's an interesting question.
For sure.
It's a good one.
So do we think that everybody, I guess we won't know yet. We'll probably find out next week on if everybody left will make the jury or not.
Yeah.
So
did it? I guess the one other thing that kind of popped up that I was just thinking about. Did it surprise you that Say was the only one, or not only one, but Say voted for Cedric?
No. I guess a little
It
bit.
was just kind of a random, like, why? I understand you're not, like, wasn't super close with him, but after last tribal, it seemed like they cleared stuff up, so they were good, and then for her to be with everybody else talking about all the votes and to be one random vote for Cedric, it just seemed kind of odd and out of place to me.
I guess that's true. I forgot they kind of got back to a decent spot, or at least it seemed like they did.
Yeah, it made no sense to me.
It wouldn't surprise me for her to say, things are like, I'm safe, so let me get one back at Cedric. She seems crazy enough to do that. But also you had like, that was way too close, so it didn't really make sense.
Yeah. Speaking of the votes, Jeff pulled a fast one on us tonight, which I kind of liked. Usually it's Charity say, Charity say, Charity say. It was 5-2 Say, and then boom, 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 Charity gone.
Yeah. I even was like, I actually got a little excited. Not excited, but like, was like, okay, Say's going home. And then bait and switch. I was like, oh.
We're never getting rid of her.
Nope.
She's winning.
No.
No, I don't think so, but it seemed like she knew. Or was that just her, like, cockiness showing?
I think it's that. I think it's her cockiness showing. I really do.
Because she seemed to pick up on that as soon as Jeff read Charity again. She's like, all right, I'm safe. There's no way he's going to lead us on just to switch back and then, oh, no, just kidding.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. She just, and maybe she did actually know, and that's why she threw a vote Cedric's way, but I don't know. It just seemed weird. I don't remember anybody throwing out Cedric's name. What's Mitch going to do?
Mitch is gonna be with the physical guys. Well, wait for it.
I honestly don't know,
he
but
will?
he's honestly surprised me in challenges and all sorts of things there.
Yeah,
I mean,
he's playing a good game. He's shown his value.
I mean, playing challenges, great, but even strategic side, I know he's been on the wrong side of votes, but you can see that he's trying and playing that side of things. And I think it's just unfortunate the way it's landing for him, but I do like him a lot.
I think he's a good candidate because I don't think Say can rally the troops and be like, guys, we got to get these guys out. I think Mitch, though, potentially could be like, guys, wake up. I could see Kyle and Camilla being like, Mitch, don't worry, we got you, and them kind of formulating something. But I think he'll be all right.
Did anybody's stock go drastically down this week?
No.
I don't think so.
I would say there's definitely people that their stock went up.
Yeah.
I think Star being one of them. I think.
Do you think the rest of the players see Star as somebody that's likable like that, or do they? Because I nobody seems to really approach her on anything. She seems to do the seeking out. So I don't know. I don't know if you get a sense for how the rest of the tribe sees her.
I think she's a number, but I think she's building relationships. You kind of have seen that with giving Eva the idol and kind of burying the hatchet there, and then consoling Cedric. Yeah, I thought I said controlling. Consoling. It's going great. Consoling Cedric. But I think I'm just thinking of like who's going to take down the physical majority, and I'm like maybe Kyle, Camilla, Mitch, Cedric, and Star are the ones that do that.
Yeah, I was kind of surprised to see Star go back to Eva and Joe and say, "Hey, Charity's wanting me to take the idol back." And the fact that she told them about it and then stuck to it, like, no, that's yours. I'm not taking it back. I thought earned her some extra bonus points this week.
Yeah. And I think, I mean, Charity, come on. Like, could you imagine Star, hey, Eva, I need that back. That was mine. Like, that's just, it's stupid.
Mm-hmm.
So.
And then when was it at the merge meal that that Star was like, "Oh, she has an idol? I didn't know she had an idol." And then Say was like, like, pretty sure you gave it to her.
I loved that.
Like nobody else seemed to pick up on that. I was like, huh? She just out there bold-faced lying, throwing out names. I love that.
It's funny.
And then when she was at Tribal and she's like, "Man, you can have an awesome family and still not like them, like Aunt
Grandma
so and
TT,
so." Yeah.
Auntie
We're like,
Nicole.
you know she's got an aunt or a grandma that she just don't really
Grandma
like.
TT catching strays.
Dang, Star. Oh,
Shots
man.
fired.
It was so funny.
Man,
Just a fun episode.
it really
Yeah.
was.
Fun episode. Do you how do they pick what tribe they go to or what beach they go to? Is there any rhyme or reason to that? Do they always merge to the same ones?
I know we talked about that last season, and I don't think we got to the bottom of it, but I think our theory was that they go to the winningest beach or the most put together beach, maybe.
That's right. Yeah, we did talk about that.
Did we have any mail?
So we had yep. No questions, but just feedback from
Mr. Consistent?
our Mr. Jim. We need to just get him to send us in a video of his question. He can just be a part of the show.
I like it.
But he just
Absolutely.
said, "Good show, guys. Keep it up."
Love it.
Thank you.
Just
Thank you.
straight
Thank
to
you.
the point. But yeah, our weekly Jim segment right there.
Hey, we'll put it in. Keep it.
Oh, it'll be there.
Yep.
But hey, if you're up for it, Jim, send us a video. And I know you have sons that can hopefully convince you to do that. But if not, that's cool too.
Like guest appearance.
I like it.
Perfect. Well, I don't have anything else other than Survivor of the Week.
Same.
Kick us off, Blake.
All right, let me think about this for just a second. I'm going Star. And for every reason that we just talked about, didn't necessarily make any game-breaking moves, didn't win the first immunity challenge, but as far as kind of turning around her game in my eyes, it didn't start out great, and now seems to be building those relationships and is just funny and fun. And she was probably the highlight of this episode for me. So I'll give it to her.
Brandon?
Same. Next. No, I agree with everything. She kind of started to show up a little bit last week, and I
see what you did there.
Anyway.
Started.
Oh.
Big brain.
Wow,
Sorry.
That's great.
Man.
Yeah, no, I was just laughing at Star several times. So just for the fact, like, she's funny and I think is going to go on a little bit of a run here. So Star for me this week.
What else to say about her? Star it
3 for 3?
is. Bing, bang, boom. Swept.
I like it. All right. Well, Brandon, where can everybody find us?
Here we go. So you can email us at the mergefeastpodcast@gmail.com and get featured on the show just like Jim. You can catch us on Twitter at mergefeastpod. And we are on TikTok and Instagram at the Merge Feast. So catch us there. As a reminder, we are on video now. So get on over to YouTube. Check us out. Check the video out. Subscribe to the channel. Like the video. Leave us a comment. We'll read some of those as well. But yeah, we're everywhere now. And we're
Mr.
posting.
Worldwide.
Yeah, we're posting on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram every weekday. So go follow us there. Check us out. Interact. All the good stuff.
Absolutely. Love it. All right. We will be back again next Friday, and we should be back as the Merge Feast. So make sure you tune in, and yeah, go ahead and say goodbye, Logan.
Goodbye, Logan.